intelligence is artificial. So then, so then, so then, so then, so then, so then. Alright, so let's talk about this show now, the last one of the year. Happy 2021, everybody, on what's possible to be happy. Just make it happy yourself. The world is falling apart for real, because we say that in English, although the world is falling apart for real this time. So, well, at least I am not falling apart myself. So check yourself, what's your case, what's your situation, and enjoy your time. I have even more hair now. Look, 1 year of quarantine. This is where we end. We end up with a lot of hair because I'm not going to the hairdressers, so I'm not the barber shop. So I'm not having my hair cut. So, well, my message for the new year is: first, try to make it happy. I am a happy person. I don't care if I may consider myself a happy stupid. Like now, my philosophy is like, I surrender to crime. That's my conclusion of life now. It's a dark age. It's 130 years of darkness. This is a long period of darkness in society, the whole world. And now, for us to survive, there's nothing else but to get used to the darkness of the times and try to exist. I will explain how, okay? First, I would like to say the Bring Civilization Back Trust is there, up and running, nothing has changed. LEGroup Foods, same thing, up and running, nothing has changed. FORZA, ITALIA, CIBERSPACE, that's my political candidacy in Italy, okay? That one is there. When it comes to politics, it's public service, okay? So it's not, some people they say, oh, you should create your own party and things. It's public service, it's public. So if there's a party out there, you can just join. I think it's much better. And so I like Forza Italia, but my party is Forza Italia Cyberspace, because my focus is the cyberspace, the digital life, and it's been like that for 2 years now, in Ireland and in Italy. Also international, I'm an international person, also all over the world, okay? Another one is AUGUSTV, which is the one you're watching right now. So welcome to AUGUSTV. If it's the first time you watch our show, you're welcome. There's lots of different shows here, okay? It's a lot of them, okay? My problem is just to be a bit more focused on only one style, but there's like hundreds of different styles of Augustine in my different lives. I have several lives in this same life, okay? So, first, the COVID-19, okay? I had the COVID-19, that was September. I was infected with COVID-19, and then I got how to say, like I was hospitalized for 10 days. Everything was fine. I had a great service. I'm in Argentina. I'm stuck in Argentina for 1 year now. I came here for holidays because I was born in Argentina. I have family here, so, and relatives, and also other problems here. Lots of problems here. And then I came here 1 year ago, and then with all the pandemic and everything, I stayed here. I remained in Argentina, okay? And so I was infected in Argentina. I was treated in Argentina. Argentina is much more liberal than America or Europe when it comes to COVID-19, as everybody has their own vision of it. It's not really that communist like it is in the United States and in Eastern Europe, that you have the government oppressing you so strong and telling you what to do. Here we're more flexible, and so everybody's doing their own version of it. My own version is that I'm not scared of the virus anymore. What I am scared is about having a very severe quarantine, which that was my problem. I was making a very severe quarantine. I was staying home all the time, and my immunity went low. So because of my immunity going low, that's why once I was infected, I got a lot of problems. Okay, so that's why I was in the hospital. My advice for you not to have problems is Try to make your quarantine as healthy as possible, which means eat healthy, drink healthy, and do some sports. Be out in leave your house. Try to have your normal life with the restrictions. Using the mask, avoiding direct contact with people, shaking hands and things like that. So, and just stay away from the virus. One thing is the quantity of virus. The less quantity of virus, the better it is. So it's not that you're not going to be infected, but one thing is you to have 1,000 virus in your system. Another thing is you to have 1 million virus in your system. The more virus you have, the more chances of having the symptoms and having the disease. Which name of the disease is not COVID-19. COVID-19 is the virus. The name of the disease is silent lung disease. Silent lung disease. SLD. Silent lung disease. It's a disease that affects your lungs, and it's very silent. The symptoms are very, very low. So that's what happened to me. Okay, my symptoms were so low that I thought I didn't have the virus, and then even if my cousin told me that she had the virus and I had contact with her, and then I thought, well, maybe that's how I got infected. But but I had no symptoms. It took me too long to go to the hospital. Then when I was to the hospital, I need to use the inhaler. It was a very simple one. It just put on the nose, but still I had both of my lungs were infected, and then but now I'm fine, and then the recovery, it takes about 1 month, and you do need to drink lots of water. That's the number one thing. A lot of people, they get cured, but then once they are back to the home, and then they stop drinking water. So you need to drink water, because this way you replace all the water that your organism is not absorbing anymore. That's one thing. Okay, and then what else? Then another thing that I like to talk about. It's been a lot of years that I've been discussing a lot of things in the world, and the situation here is we live a dark age, which is an age of lots of darkness in the whole world, and that's a lot of, I'll be talking a lot about that in the next chapters. About there's a lot of education that everybody has to do nowadays in order to adapt to the darkness of these times. And one of them is stop romanticizing crime. Okay, that's something that Hollywood has been showing to everybody, that to be a criminal is something fun and everything. It's not a big of a deal. It is a big of a deal. It's not because mainstream is criminal, that's not because mainstream is corrupt, degraded, and bad, that lifestyle can be seen as positive. Okay, there's two things in the whole world, has always been like that: day and night, bad and good. The opposites. Okay, so bad is bad, good is good. So even if Hollywood preaches that it's fun to be bad, it's not really a big of a deal. All the indoctrination that we have been absorbing for this past century in such a long dark age, is still, there's a lot of problems out there. Okay, first of all, crime does not produce. So if you have, especially nowadays, that you have an upper class that's all criminals and gangsters, imposters, fraudsters, and stuff, all that. Okay, and that's not only in Ireland or the United States. That's all over the world. Okay, that has started in the UK and in Italy, and now it's like all over the world. Okay, and so we have an upper class that does not produce, okay, because the main priority is to steal, to scam, to defraud, to try to find victims that they can take advantage of. Okay, one of them is social media. Social media is a way that the upper class has managed to make people work for free, because every time you're posting on social media, every time you're creating content for social media, you're being enslaved, you're being exploited. It's your labor rights are being totally neglected. Okay, that's one thing. Another thing, crime doesn't pay. Crime doesn't. I have my notes. Okay, my notes. Crime does not pay. Okay, that's another thing. If your bosses, your gangsters and criminals, it's a long process to get paid. So usually your work is going to be trying to get paid. instead of producing, you see, they don't produce themselves, they don't let people produce, because you, instead of producing, you need to be negotiating your payment, because that's a big issue. I'm a criminal, I'm used to take advantage of everybody, so now I have to pay somebody for work. I mean, if I can get it for free, you know, that's another problem with crime. Another problem, like, okay, all of this creates less production, because also those who produce, which is my case, I have massive success on my own skills, my own study, and my own hard work, and every time I have some income, every time I have, they show up, they steal everything, they take everything, and here I am, once again, without any money, okay? Why? Because that I'm a victim. The society understands producers like me as a victim, okay? Today, in the dark age, it was not like that in the history, okay? That's how it is today. Another thing is that usually this system is going to collapse, and at some point it does collapse, because once you don't have production, there's this tension, at some point the whole thing just blows up and it collapses, and then when after the collapse there is a resurrection, and then there is a new civilization that shows up and starts. Do you understand? That's how it works. And one thing that's important, I like to give this advice, like, don't feel less if you are not successful economically. Don't feel less if you're not popular. And you see, well, that guy is so popular, I'm not popular. That happens a lot nowadays, and then you feel depressed. That's why there's so much depression, there's so many suicides, and because everybody sees these examples, and they are like so successful. They never went to college, they never studied, they never like. Well, it is a dark age, so do understand that there's the facade. Usually they show just their facade. It's not who they really are. So once you really go into detail, you see that what's the full story, okay? Another thing is don't believe also that you can associate with them, okay? Criminality is that's not call it a disease, okay? It is let's be political correct, okay? So criminality is an issue that a person has with understanding society. It's a social problem, okay? When you're a criminal, you have no limits, because you don't see the other people around you. So that means, oh, I want to drink some coffee right now, okay? This is the coffee here, and I want to drink this coffee. And then I would say, as there's people watching me, I will try to be educated. I would say, oh, excuse me, would you mind if I stop and I drink? If what I just did was maybe criminal, I just got this and I had a coffee in the front of everybody. I don't care if whatever you think, if that was nice or not nice, that's your problem, that's not my problem. I wanted to have a sip of coffee, right? Which is actually Irish coffee. It has some whiskey here and some cream, okay? But usually a criminal, he does not have all this consciousness, okay? He'll just drink it, and he would even say, I'm sorry, just do it, okay? Okay, this applies for serious stuff as well. So they would, so if they have cash and they have to return, they will not return. They will keep it and they just spend it. They do not even realize that does not belong to them anymore. Okay, so and then you see, okay, you just make friends. You become friends with somebody like that, and you'll be fine. Not really. Okay, I have a lot of experience. With criminality, my case is upper class, like Dublin, Miami, Geneva, Rome, okay, São Paulo City, Brazil, Havana, Cuba, Bangkok, Thailand. So usually in the upper classes, and so I've been around wealthy criminals, okay, and you can't associate if you're not a criminal yourself, okay? That's how the mafias, it's usually the gangs, because they need to be synchronized in the same energy, in the same vibration. If you have conscience, you feel afraid, in my case, it's not only that I feel afraid. I'm like, why I'm going to do this? It's illegal. It's my problem number one is that I'm saying a problem because we live a dark age, which means that it's a problem you not to be a criminal in a dark age. Okay, that's how crazy it is. But first you feel the consciousness, but this is not right. Like if I do this, 100,000 children are not going to have food at school on Monday, and they're like, and they'll look at you and they'll say, "What children? You know, like the money you just deviating from the Ministry of Children and wire transfer to your bank account." You understand? You understand? So that's one thing. That's my sister calling. She's going to participate. She's calling me here, so I'll let her here so she watches live. But so you want adapt, you want connect, correct? And the second thing is that another thing is this one. Another one is that I produce. So I make more money producing, and I have losses that worth $500,000. I mean, just the net worth, not only the whole value. Okay, the whole value is way more. It's about $2 million and stuff like that. Like it's my own work. I say hello. I'm a sales guy, international sales guy. So I don't feel the necessity. Like, why do I need to steal if I can make it my own money? I don't need to steal. That's a problem nowadays in the dark age we live. Another one, an association. Association is important. You can't associate if you're not a criminal. But what I'd like to say on my advice, how to survive in this dark age, is try to get organized in groups. Because when we say dark age, we're talking about society. We're talking about mainstream. We're talking about mainstream and underground. So during the Enlightenment times, it's the opposite. Correct, honest, hardworking people. Let's say George Washington, he was a hardworking man. He even founded his own country, the United States. Now we have Joe Biden, who's an imposter, a defrauster. His son is a drug dealer or something like. And I do not know enough about his the vice president of the United States, but that man, now he's just occupying, he has possession of this George Washington's creation, and then he is scamming people. He's a scammer, an imposter. He's there based on fraud, and now he runs like a gangster. You know, George Washington's invention. Like George Washington is his victim now. To understand, so that's mainstream. That's mainstream, but that does not mean that good does not exist. Good still exists, but now it's not on mainstream. It's an underground, but it's still there. Less and less, because it's very hard to exist as a good person in a so degraded and corrupt and criminal society as we live today. But we're there. Okay, so do you understand? So you can adapt. But I'm going to be making more videos. The questions are welcome. The ages we live are so dark that we have I have comments, but they're offline. So people they send me private messages when they want to comment my videos. Please just do it on the website. Do it on YouTube, because I need to copy and paste. Actually, I copy, and then you see the comments on some of my videos, and they're signed. I put just the first name and the location, okay, but it is what it is, and it's 130 years of this dark age. This dark age is started, I do not believe this was intentional, but it started when the King George V, the King of England, he privatized the Central Bank of England. He was not a great of a king, and then he made this, he took this decision of selling the Central Bank of England to the Rothschild family, and since then is when it was created a fraud. I would believe that they just saw business there, and but the fraud is that once this currency was not public anymore, was not a kingdom anymore, it should have changed to the Rothschilds, George Rothschild. The pound should have his bill, his name. and maybe all over the world the same thing today, because now the Rothschilds, they have purchased every possible central bank in the whole world, but they didn't. So we still have this fantasy that America has the US dollars, that Argentina has pesos, but they're euro, but they're not. It's a fraud. It's just all Rothschilds, for example. Just the same way like media now is all Facebook, the same, or Google or Amazon. It's the same thing for money. That was the first big monopoly in the whole world, which is finances. And then you have all this game and blah blah blah. So that has created some sort of dark age by the fact that it's an age of fraud. Fraud is the #1 crime we're victim of nowadays, all the time. It's fraud. So that's my advice is be positive, but think about yourself, #1, your family, your direct friends. Do not really follow much public stuff. Mainstream is all very degraded, very corrupt, very damaged. There is a lot of real facts out there, but be smart to really analyze and wonder, what does that politician mean when he tells me not wear the mask, and then like be a bit more have critical thinking about that, okay? And stay tuned, there's more, and remember, bring civilization back. Trust is the trust for those who want to survive the Western way. So it's a Western civilization trust. It's a fund that allows, if you want, it helps us to assist us on the economic damages of the dark age we live. Okay, so we can try to keep it up with some sort of maybe there are several activities, okay, but some sort of pension that allows. I'm European, I follow the Western civilization, I'm following Enlightenment, and I do not want to change, and I am here, and then I'm part of the BCB Trust, okay? As one thing, LEGroup Foods is my export business for foods, okay? We ship foods all over the world, and FORZA ITALIA, CIBERSPACE is the political party, it's politics, it's Italy, okay? And AUGUSTV is the TV here. Stay tuned. And there's other channels. I have channels on BitChute, I have channels on Instagram, on Facebook, and what else? All this everywhere online, okay? Have the website, because everywhere online it's okay. And Facebook, they suspended my account 3 times, but it's because Facebook, they have my bill there. It's stuck on the on the legal paradise of Ireland. But my lawsuit against Facebook is has been disputed for over 1 year, 1 year and like 4 months, and still no results. Mark Zuckerberg hasn't answered anything. Politicians from America, from Ireland, and other key contacts that they were serviced with the paperwork of my lawsuit against Mark Zuckerberg, no response. It's all this darkness of these times, But some things they did change. There are some changes, like now Facebook, when they cancel your account, they let you download your personal data, okay? But that was before my complaint and my bill, because I sent to Mark Zuckerberg a bill worth $1.1 million, which is what I believe is worth my 12 years of content that Mark Zuckerberg embezzled or took in 2019. That was September 2019. He just took possession of 12 years of contents, and I don't. So I don't have my own contents. 12 full years of very high-end international global contents with videos, photos, locations, messages, conversations, like you name it. And I'm waiting for the justice to really come back with the results. Look, I'm sorry, we have worked on your case. Here's whatever amount we have settled down with Mark Zuckerberg. You're done. We thank you for your services. And there's also the labor rights, because I sent my bill to Mark Zuckerberg. That's my case with Facebook. And all my other lawsuits. If anybody wants to talk about that, just go there. My on the channel here, there's a lot of different lawsuits and stuff that I'm waiting people to pay justice to be made. And that's my advice. Stay focused on your personal life, and it is a dark age. We do not know how long it's going to last, maybe 30 years more, because it took 130 years to be here. I believe the pandemic is just the quiet sea before the tsunami. Okay, it's going to be a collapse, a big catastrophe, because we see in the market, I'm in the market, I've spent the entire year negotiation, then I'm in this circle, like, and you negotiate, I know, but you have to know, I have to pay, yeah, you pay and I work, I know, but you work first and then I pay, and then nobody work, but there's so much criminality, there's not safety, the legal system is a joke. The security is a fucking joke. Security is even worse than legal. It's even worse than legal. Security, security is like police, everybody. Usually, when you need them, they basically make their effort to show to you that we're not here. Basically that's why they answer you back, saying like, why are you contacting us? We're not here. Forget about us. And so it's in circles, and then let's wait for the collapse, and I'm here. Everybody who wants to survive, get in contact, and I will tell you what to do, okay? So Happy New Year, or what's possible. Don't be naive, do not believe that next year is going to be better, that the new year. The big change in astrologic was the Aquarium age that started on the last Yule, which was the 21st of December. But still, it lasts like 2,000 years. So it's going to be like a few decades until this new Aquarius age is going to be influencing everything here on this planet. So Jesus Christ, maybe. At this point, I'm not sure if Christianity is going to survive. There's all this, maybe is a religion that lasted 2,000 years, and maybe we're seeing the last years of Christianity, because we have a Pope Francis, which is fraud, and then maybe wrap it up with this. A big example of the darkness of the times we've lived is like Christianity and Catholicism, okay? You go to the churches and everybody enjoys the service and everything, but then when they ask for payments, and I know because I had this problem myself, I had a discussion with a charity organization that they made me dump 30,000 kilos of rice in the Caribbean, and I contact this charity organization, and they say, oh, we work all over the world. I said, but you didn't help me, and I had 30,000 kilos, okay, it's about 20,000 pounds of rice in my possession, that I was being victim of scam and fraud and corruption there in Sint Marteen in the Caribbean, and I wanted to donate that for free to poor people, and you didn't help me, and so that's fraud, so like, and that comes to the fact what I'm talking about Christianity and Catholicism is like, you go, and then once you have all these great churches, but then when you want to give your contribution, you leave like €1, 10 cents, nothing. They're like zero, and then like if Christians don't pay for their own church, if they do not contribute, why they complain that the Jewish community just purchased all the churches, and that the Rothschilds managed the church, and that the Rothschilds just planted Pope Francis there just to entertain everybody and impose Jewish values on Christians and extinguish Christianity and Catholicism. But then when you see Christian and Catholic followers themselves, they don't pay, they don't deposit. I had a discussion with somebody today in Italy, and was like, guys, you just make a payment. Because they talk about it, they talk, and then, okay, now you have to pay. No, they don't pay. And you're like, how do we make magic? If you're not going to pay, and we have electricity, food, and this, then the Rothschilds, they come and they offer a property management plan to Pope Francis. Do you understand? And then he accepts, and he starts making money out of the properties that he makes, which means Judaism. And to understand, it's a lot of factors. So like, what's happening? Okay, but I love Christianity. I love empathy. Okay, I was raised Christianity. It is sad to see our civilization die, but it depends on your choice. Do you want to die with the civilization? We want to continue existing. What do you want to do? Okay, and it's up to you. I want to survive because I like life. I like to do things, and I'm just like going crazy with these payment problems. Which is the other things I talk about. Like I can't accept. I can't believe that I have been used for so long, and I think my big lesson of 2020 is to understand police, because I have been always so respectful with police and military and all that, and like my office in Fort Lauderdale in Florida, I have the border patrol on the right, I have the customs, U.S. customs on the left. It's police all the time. I go through the airports, I was so respect, but then once you really need them, is that when you understand, oh, so that's a facade. The real deal is this, like it's all to protect money laundering, the drug cartels, corruption, fraud, like. So anyways, and now I have the virus, and then they use the virus to make all this drama and make people think about whatever, like. So, okay, so look, with all this horrible panorama, try to think on yourself and try to move ahead and get concentrated and keep trying. One day something new is going to show up. Alright, so Happy New Year on what's possible. Let's put some music and see what song is coming here. Let me see. Here we are now. Every day I'm stupid. Every day here we are now. Every day I'm a fan. I'm a mosquito. I live it out. Yeah.